Uh, where is the? Where is it? Permission to record. I'm actually recording it.
Just a minute.
It is getting recorded
If
actually
I-
at my end. So I will share. Okay, I think we'll continue. Now this is a staging slide. It's very, very important. All to please note. Now here, stage 1A is what? Stage 1B is what? Okay, and accordingly. So one can later on at ease go through this particular table very precisely and try to understand, because just by explaining it is not possible immediately to grasp like TNM. So one needs to actually see it properly and study it. But remember this slide. I will share the PPT later with you. But this is a very important slide that one and can actually stage at the end of your presentation. You can actually stage the disease, which will have a better impression for the examiners. Okay, next is the mode of spread. Now the mode of spread is by various paths. So first is a local path, that is by continuity and by contiguity. So by continuity, it is just by in sheer continuation with the structure which is earlier, it will have the spread, and by contiguity in the nearby vicinity, it will have not just because in the continuity. Lymphatic, it can be in early as well as late stage. In early stage through axillary or internal mammary node, and in late stage through supraclavicular and contralateral nodes. Hematogenous or blood-borne, it will reach the lumbar vertebrae, femur, thoracic vertebra, ribs and skull. Transcoelomic, which is called as a cancer shower. There will be pelvic deposits. And implantation, this is a newer mode of spread which is actually iatrogenic. It is not a natural mode of spread, but one should know that this is also possible. Suppose you have done, say, a core biopsy or true cut, and the tumor which was totally inside, confined, you have brought to the surface. Okay, so you have actually upstaged the disease actually. That is what is happening. What happened? Slides on. Okay, fine. Okay, so understand. So we'll now proceed to the next. Now, after knowing the staging, the next is the treatment options. What treatment options one can offer to the patient. Now, surgery makes or other forms the mainstay of treatment for CA breast if patient has presented to you in time and gives the best possible results. So whenever there is an opportunity, please offer surgery for the patient. Next is the chemotherapy, which can be pre and post as per the need of an individual. Radiation therapy, if there is involvement of the axilla. Then combination or sometimes sandwich therapy we give, that is the CTRT. And hormonal therapy, which is medical or surgical hormone therapy. Palliation, it is just we do a palliative surgery. And when very, very advanced stages or advanced breast malignancy, we do nothing but a pain relief. So again, this is one more important table I want you all to understand. Now, please look at this very carefully. As per the TNM staging, it has categorized into three. That is ductal carcinoma in situ, a localized cancer, and loco-regionally advanced cancer. Three simple categories. And accordingly, the treatment options will change. Now, as you are well aware, ductal carcinoma in situ, there is no need for any new adjuvant therapy. Sentinel node, when possible, for invasive component if the tumor is more than 4 centimeters or the age is less than 55 years, some solid component on mammogram, and DCIS grade 2 and 3 is important. So this sentinel node, if more than 4 centimeters, one can do a sentinel node biopsy. and BCIS, however, is grade 2 and 3. Okay, so understand. Then BCT, that is a breast conservative therapy, what we give to our patient. So excision possible with good cosmetic result, because the lesion is considered as unifocal. Okay, it is not multifocal and bilateral. So it is unifocal lesion. And multifocal, if at all, within 5 centimeters, then only this is advisable, that is BCT. Now, usually the BCIS is less than 4 centimeters size. Mastectomy, usually good cosmetic result happens, but sometimes it is not possible if it is multicentric or the size is more than 4 centimeters. Now, localized cancer, again, it will change. I'm not reading each and everything. You can go through it later. So sometimes we have to give neoadjuvant chemotherapy to make a BCT possible. See, understand, treatment is there. We can offer patient MRM, that is modified radical mastectomy. But if the patient is relatively young and you want to salvage the breast, and if you want to consider an option of a BCT, then you have to downstage the tumor. So this is only possible by administering a neoadjuvant chemotherapy. Fine. So that is why when you give a neoadjuvant, if you are anticipating or if you are considering offering BCT to the patient. And lastly, the loco-regionally advanced, when neoadjuvant is yes. Now here the treatment rationale is different, because now you want to make the basic surgery, that is a MRM possible, not a BCT possible. So for making the MRM possible, you need to shrink the tumor, and once tumor is shrunken, one can operate and give patient the best result. Now here there is no role of any sentinel node biopsy, anything, and no role again for BCT. Now surgery, again operable breast CA. So earlier, suppose a small tumor, there is no involvement of skin or deeper structure, then we can go for a BCT. So it consists of what? It consists of a mastectomy, axillary dissection through a separate incision, and post-procedure radiation therapy. Now these 3 components one has to understand. Okay, so one must understand that it is a mastectomy, a simple mastectomy, followed by axillary dissection through a separate incision, not the same as we do for MRM, and radiation therapy is must. If patient is not taking radiation therapy, you cannot have optimum result for BCT. And yes, sentinel lymph node biopsy also sometimes is a choice. For locally advanced, the main stay here is a palliation and to downstage the tumor. Then I'm not going into very intricacy of the surgeries as such, because as you are aware, we are little bit discussed yesterday also. Rasham also, I think he presented nicely various components of the standard. See, the radical mastectomy, or we call it as a complete Halsted. That was a terminology used for a classical radical mastectomy. So all the components, it was too radical, removing pectoralis minor, major, vessels, lymph nodes, tissue. So it was too radical. So it was considered as a complete Halsted, but it also carried a lot of morbidity because of extensive dissection. So that is why it was converted into modified radical mastectomy, which is again subdivided into 3 types. It is Patty's, Auchincloss, as per the modifications and as per the approaches and Scanlons. As per the, we do the approaches and dissect the structures underneath. And then of course the simple mastectomy, or we call it as a toilet mastectomy sometimes, in patients with a locally advanced breast cancer. So this is about the surgical aspect here. But in the theory, you are supposed to just enumerate the main components. If you have time, if you are well versed with the diagrams, please draw the diagrams. Then chemotherapy is very important in node positive disease, which can be either neoadjuvant or anterior chemotherapy or preoperative chemotherapy. The terminologies are these 3, which are synonymous. And post-surgery, or called as adjuvant chemotherapy. So CMF, that is a CMF regime, that is a classical standard one, which is a mainstay. However, there is a need for adding sometimes adriamycin by removing the methotrexate. So in that CF regime, as I told you yesterday, a 2D echo is must because of cardiac component can get affected, and side effects need to be explained very meticulously to the patient. Now, radiation therapy, again a must component for a BCT. Now, here patient compliance need to be excellent. Otherwise, patient will take one and then because of side effect or some radiation sickness, miss the other sessions. That is not good. It will not bear optimum results. Dose is adjusted as per the patient requirement. It requires special center with a trained staff. You cannot give it each and every center. Now, hormonal therapy, earlier, tamoxifen was the mainstay, which we used to give 20 milligram once a day or 10 milligram twice a day for up to 5 years. Initially, it was 2 years, then proposed to 5 years. But new, we have aromatase inhibitors like anastrozole, letrozole, which was initially started for 2 years, then increased to 5 years. Now, up to 10 years, they are advocating. Now, there are certain biological modifiers one need to understand. That is trastuzumab. It is active against CERBB2 gene. Then there is a bevacizumab. It is a newer vascular growth factor inhibitor drug, and lapitinumab. That is combined growth factor inhibitor. So these are the newer hormonal therapy options. However, these will depend on the individual patient. Okay, this is mainly I have given or prepared a PPT for writing LAQ. But for exam, for practicals as such, you choose wisely what is best suited for your individual patient. Now, when you think of palliation, it is nothing but a simple or toilet mastectomy. But the primary aim is debulking the tumor, remove the mass burden of the tumor, ensure a pain relief, and achieve PQLI. What is PQLI? It is the highest physical quality life index we want to achieve for the patient. That is very important. Now, reconstruction is also one of the component which one should write when you're writing LAQ. So reconstruction is for maybe nipple, where which can be done by doing a simple tattooing or use of artificial nipples. If the nipple area we need to change, then there is again a tattooing option is present, or sometimes custom-made devices are available for the particular individual. And if it is a breast, then we have to do construction with using transverse abdominis flaps or latissimus dorsi flaps. And sometimes there is a need to use implants. However, now silicone implants are not advocated because of there's a chance of developing into malignancy. And sometimes one can use an explant or prosthesis, which you increase or have the size change as per the need. This is a simple tissue expander for the post-operative patient. When you can see in a small inset, that horizontal scar is there, that is a post-surgery patient. And a small tissue expander is introduced beneath the muscles, and a saline solution is injected into the implant. And as per the desired effect one needs, the expansion is achieved. Now, next point is the screening one. Now, here family screening is very, very crucial. Mammography usually advocated for females above age of 40 years. Genetic screening in vulnerable population and high-risk patients. Now, sometimes there can be false positive patient group also. So those again need further detailed screening. And all these require a very meticulous counseling session. Now, there are certain prognostic indicators: patient's menstrual history, history of pregnancy, history of lactation, advanced age, any condition like hypoproteinemia, and overall patient's nutrition. These are the prognostic indicators for best possible outcome. And lastly, just to touch about the recent advances. So one can do a subcutaneous mastectomy, also called as a skin sparing or a keyhole mastectomy. Now, earlier there was a term, we call it as quad. So, okay. So quadrant, only one quadrant is removed. The concept was introduced by Umberto Veronese. Then there is a sector mastectomy as a need. So this is, if you compare it, it is similar to what we do for RCC. Okay. when we do a nephron sparing surgery. So this is a skin sparing mastectomy, for example. Then we do a polar nephrectomy. Now here we are doing a sector mastectomy or a quart. So you need to sometimes compare to understand better the concept. Then BCT, of course. Then there is a biological modulating agents, tissue expanders, simple prosthesis, then prophylactic mastectomy. Now, if you must have heard that famous star Angelina Jolie, now she has undergone prophylactic bilateral mastectomy because she was detected with a lobular carcinoma. And as we are aware, that lobular carcinoma has a propensity for being bilateral and multifocal disease against a ductal carcinoma. So in anticipation, that was a quite bold step for that lady. And we really appreciate that she has undergone that. And it is a decision which has to be taken very judiciously. Mainly the patient it rather than the doctor, because then that mental agony or trauma of not having both the breasts simultaneously, otherwise has to be borne by the patient. So when patient is mentally prepared, then you can do, and it will have maximum good results. Then toilet mastectomy, as discussed little earlier, and sentinel lymph node biopsy. These are the few recent advances one should know. And need for PET-CT as per the uh, availability of the resources at the center where you are actually working is also very, very crucial. So this is an overview about a CA breast, which is quite more than sufficient for you to write a good LAQ in the exam. If you can write this much also, there's a very high chance that you will score full out of, let's say, 8 out of 8 marks. With, of course, we add on good diagrams to it. So you may add more diagrams to this. I have just kept it minimum. You may have more and more diagrams with this. So thank you. So now again, coming back to yesterday's discussion, Vishakha and Ashish, there were a few questions as I was told. So we can take a few questions if there's a time.
Yes, sir.
Am I
Does
audible?
anyone? Yes, sir. Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
okay, fine.
Type your questions in the chat box if anyone has any questions.
So one question is asking more on toilet mastectomy.
Uh-huh. See, toilet mastectomy,
And
it is nothing but a simple mastectomy where we do not do a much invasive dissection. We remove the tumor, we remove the affected breast component along with, say, if possible, a 5 centimeter margin all around. But if at all the tumor is little bit infiltrated to the chest wall, we do not go for that much dissection because patient is somehow not actually fit for undergoing a major surgery like MRM. That is why the toilet mastectomy. So it is just a stopgap. It is basically doing a debulking of the tumor and offering patient what is best, what is for that particular individual. Now the recommended age for screening of for mammography is ideally it was considered 40, but it is again to be chosen judiciously as per the need of the community. So suppose, say for example in Mumbai, even 35 is a valid screening age considered against the age of 40. It is absolutely directly related or proportional to the community under the particular consideration, and it is not just a blanket thing. Sorry, what is the question? Okay. Positive, actually, see, benign breast disease is a totally different chapter, which is actually a huge chapter. So if you're okay with it, I will cover it separately. So we will not miss anything because I will just brush it and go. Then again, it will create more confusion for you. So I will not touch it here at present. Yes, ideally, yes. That will give you an add-on edge. See, the pattern of LAQ is roughly understood by you all because now you have written so many assessments. So you start with introduction, you start with some epidemiologic or some statistics, some history component, then you go to the etiological factors, then some pathological aspects, then the clinical features, then the investigations, then the staging, then the treatment options. In the main treatment, say for example, you want to elaborate more on surgery or say immunotherapy or say chemotherapy, and then the prognosis, actually how is the 5-year prognosis, and lastly about the recent advances. That will give you full marks usually. See, CA cervix is the #1 cancer as such in the world, but it is slowly being overtaken by CA breast. MRI can be used for screening, however it has to be available. Availability is the main option. If the patient is in a remote place, somewhere in the native place, it is not possible. Patient has to travel to that particular center. And again, the MRI interpretation has to be done properly. See, when you're doing bilateral mastectomy, there is ideally, and of course, when you're achieving a R0 resection, there is no practical chance of having a recurrence unless on the final histopathology, it is showing lymphovascular invasion. Understand? So it is a final histopathological report will tell you about the actual prognosis. Now regarding the unilateral MRM, the prognosis is for 5-year prognosis for a stage 1 disease or up to stage 2 disease is 100%. It is one of the best malignancies, I shouldn't mention to actually, but to have, if at all, given a choice. Because if patient comes in time and you offer the correct strategy for the individual patient, she will live almost henceforth normal. Because we have operated also 20 years back, patients are full hale and hearty. Nothing is happening. So you have to do a job perfectly, offer the best possible correct treatment for the patient. She will do well, usually. But as the stage will progress, that is stage 3, stage 4, stage 3 drops to around 75%, and stage 4 usually goes below around 40%. So it is not very encouraging per se because of the widespread disease. Keyhole mastectomy or skin sparing mastectomy is where we try to salvage the skin or the breast per se, and it's like a keyhole, making a small incision and going subcutaneously. That's why I said the synonymous like subcutaneous, skin sparing, or keyhole. So we make a small incision in the nearby vicinity of the tumor, remove the tumor as such, and the surrounding fibrofatty tissue, and do the job. See, MRI and FNAC, they are two different type of investigations. FNAC will give you a pathological perspective, while MRI will give you a radiological perspective. MRI will tell you that this looks, and because of the new radiological features, this is almost 95%, 99%. It is appears to be a malignancy. But FNAC will tell you 100% that yes, this is malignancy only. Plus, you can further differentiate between the types, that is a ductal versus lobular, which is also very crucial. MRI won't be able to differentiate between that. Uh, See, again, gold standard is, of course, MRM as such. But again, the individualized treatment will vary from person to person. Like what Prashant presented yesterday, for that particular patient, Tata, I just told you yesterday, Tata can offer neoadjuvant chemotherapy 3 cycles straight away because that is their latest protocol. downstage the tumor, make it into a BCT type picture and do a BCT. So things will change totally as per the institute's protocol. Now Tata has laid down certain national principles actually because of the massive workload they have for malignancy compared to a smaller center. So that is they have. But in practical, in my experience of last 20 years, I have seen even you go earlier for MRM and then go for a chemo, the treatment doesn't change that much drastically actually.
So the first line investigation for a CA breast and the investigation of choice.
First line investigation of choice, of course, FNSC. And depending on the patient's requirement, FNSC, see, as I told you, there are components no, in triple assessment. So like there is a component that is radiological, pathological as per. So in radiological, we do not mention sonomammo as a first line nowadays. But yes, we have to also know the availability. So availability is an extremely important feature because we are not staying in United States where MRI and mammography is everywhere available. So we have to think practically what is available to us. So that is why many centers, like here also, we first mention about the sonomammo, and then we go for a mammography. That is for radiological. Now for pathological, of course, the FNSC is the first one, and next is the if it is inconclusive repeatedly, or if you want to have a ERPR status earlier only, then you need a bigger chunk of tissue. For that, a true cut or a core biopsy is very, very important. Okay.
Any more questions, please write in the chat. And I guess we can end it then.
Yeah, you can take the attendance and give it to Pasgare madam. Fine.
Sure, sir. Yes, sir.
Sure. Thank you. Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, yeah. Next lecture, let me know. So accordingly, we will plan it out. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Bye.
Yes, sir. पार्थ और कितना टाइम